features that some of you maybe are aware about, some of you maybe are not aware of. So these are enterprise features of Windows Phone and how you can actually use Windows Phone in enterprise environment today, how you can deploy applications, how you can use them in enterprise environment, how you can manage devices. Because the biggest fear, I guess, that IT people have is how they're going to manage enterprise devices, give them mobile devices, give them access to all enterprise resources, and be sure that if somebody steals the device, it's still secure and the data is not jeopardized, and we still have all kind of security in there. So what I'm going to show you today is how to actually use that from the IT perspective, and how to be sure that it's really secure environment. So before we start, just a few hands in the air. How many developers do I have in the room right now? Wow. Okay, great. So for all the developers, that you are very welcome to this session, of course, and you will be very able to follow everything that's in here, because some of the stuff is developer oriented and related, and there are several sessions throughout the conference as well about the Windows Phone development today and tomorrow. And I have another session today about multitasking and background agents, which is 100% developer-oriented session about multitasking in Windows Phone manual. All right, this is I'm Windows Phone development MVP for a very long time now, and this is my email address in case you want to contact me after the session about anything that you're still interested in. So this is the agenda that we'll be following in the next hour or so. So the first thing is customization of Windows Phone, just a slight light introduction. So when we talk about enterprise features of Windows Phone, we mainly talk about these things that you see on the screen right now. So we talk about SharePoint integration, we talk about Exchange integration, we talk about Office integration. Of course, now we have some more features. Now these are the numbers in millions, like 100 million SharePoint users worldwide, and Exchange users 150 million, and a lot of even more Office users, of course, as we know. We are also going to talk about Lync 2010 integration, just briefly mention it. I'm going to talk a little about application development for enterprise, as this is more IT Pro oriented and enterprise oriented. But if there will be interest, and as I see a lot of developers in the room, I'm going to briefly mention some best practices for enterprise applications and what are the best things to actually work with. Okay, I heard the phone, and if you have a Windows Phone, you can use it during the session. If you have other phones, please turn them off. All right. So, as I said, there is a long ongoing fear of IT pros and IT administrators of how are you going to manage mobile devices in the enterprise. And there is always kind of, well, tension is maybe a hard word, but there's always some kind of misunderstanding or misleading of how end users work. Because we all have phones, any kind of phone, whether you have iPhone or Android or Windows Phone, and we all have either private phones or we have corporate phones, and we want to use them for all kinds of purposes. We want to use phones in everyday life, so we want to use them today. Smartphones are very powerful. They have access to all kinds of stores, and on the store, like on Marketplace, Windows Phone Store, you have about 75,000 applications today. On Android, I don't know, 250,000. On iPhone, on App Store, you have probably 500,000 applications. So it's a huge number of applications for all kinds of purposes. Anything you can think of, you're going to find it there, that's for sure. And of course, you want to use the phone for entertainment, for gaming, for listening to the music, for your personal finances, for navigation, for everything. And of course, if you get a company phone, you're going to have to probably use it as well for some kind of company assets as well, to access company data, to make some work on the field and then transfer the data back to the server. So mix of all that is really frustrating ID pros very much. And that's why we are saying that there is all kind of misunderstanding between ID pros, not misunderstanding, of course ID pros are very, very educated today and they know how to use this stuff and how to actually implement that, and this is what I'm going to be talking about. Now, you can read this for yourself. I'm not going to read it word by word, but this is what Gartner says about mobile phones in the IT in everyday use. Now, this is just to show you the trend that's today and the trend we are going toward to. So, a lot of phones on the market today, of course, and many more to come. And Windows Phone, not Windows Phone, but phone, mobile devices in the enterprise, they were considered like, I don't know, geek stuff in the past, something that you don't really need to, but if you have to, you can implement. But today, having mobile devices in the enterprise is actually giving you competitive advantage over other companies, or at least if everybody else have that, you have to be in line. Now, if you look at a lot of worldwide companies that do most of their business on the field, like let's say the worldwide couriers like DHL or I don't know UPS or any kind of worldwide courier, they all have devices. They don't have papers anymore. You don't have to sign anything on paper mostly. You sign directly on the device. As soon as you do that, that information is automatically in the central system, and that's how you can track your packages in a real time. So as soon as your package arrives to some depot on the way to your home, it will be in the system, and you will be able to see it. As soon as it was scanned for departure, you will see that in the system. As soon as you sign it, and you go to web and track your package again, you will see within a few minutes that it's been delivered. So, of course, with paperwork, it's not possible. With mobile devices, it's possible. And it's the same for any kind of business. Whatever business you're in, if you have any kind of field work, that's the way it works. So it's going to reduce the paperwork, reduce the number of errors that you have to have if you are retyping information and all that kind of stuff. That's why we have expanded mobile devices on the field. Now, when we talk about enterprise features, this is where we're getting to the real point. What Windows Phone gives us today, from the very beginning, and like Windows Phone was released in October 2010, the first version of Windows Phone was missing some major features, and then the first major update was copy-paste update, and the next major update, which is the current update, is Mango, which is actually called Windows Phone 7.5, and that actually brought a lot of news for ID pros, for enterprise users, like Exchange, extended features and stuff like that. So what we have today is Outlook Mobile and Office Mobile are built in from version 1, of course. It very well integrates with your infrastructure, and you can see which one is that, like Office, Outlook, Exchange, SharePoint, Lync, stuff like that. And as I was just talking about, it will mobilize your business apps. How many of you are using Windows Phone today? A lot of you. Okay, good. I guess that most of you had a chance to see it, either some demos or some devices or play with it. So I'm not going to go through the concept of tiles and all that stuff. This is not a topic of this speech. If you have any questions on the platform itself, come and see me later, because we only have 1 hour and it would need probably 3 hours to go through the whole thing.